It's the most wonderful time of the year. Minky Couture's holiday season is here. Wrap your loved ones in the gift of luxury with our softest, coziest blankets ever. Perfect for movie nights, chilly mornings, or those magical Christmas Eve moments. From kids to grandparents, there's a Minky for everyone. Shop our exclusive holiday collection now, in-store or online at minkycouture.com. But hurry, Santa's favorites won't last long. Minky Couture, making your holidays merry, bright, and oh so cozy.
Coming to you live from the Elliott Avenue Studios, this is The Barbershop. Brought to you by Trufant Auto Detail, the official auto detail provider of the Seattle Seahawks. And by the Trufant Family Foundation, an organization aimed at improving the community one kid at a time. With Marcus Trufant, here's T. Holla.
Welcome to The Barbershop Show here on Sports Radio 950 KJR. My name is T. Holla.
And yes, it's Marcus Trufant.
And we are coming to you live and direct from Snoqualmie Casino, Seattle's closest casino. The Above It All experience where we are at every Wednesday before the Seahawks have a home game. Thank you guys for joining us, whether you're here in Seattle or you're tuned in anywhere around the world listening on the iHeartRadio app. Appreciate you guys for hanging out in the barbershop tonight with us. We have an incredible, hell of a show lined up for you guys, man. True, we got to talk about the Seahawks losing a tough game down there in Jacksonville this past weekend. And, how they're going to bounce back this week versus the Los Angeles Rams in a monumental game that's going to go down in CenturyLink. Also going to talk about that big fight that took place during the end of that game, man, and some of the repercussions that happened from that. Trying to get your take on that, kind of get what the people out there think about that situation. And, of course, tonight we are bringing it back, Holla Holla with True and T Holla. We're going to answer all of your questions. We don't care what it is, whether it's wild, whack, and crazy, sports-related, non-sports-related. We're going to talk about it here tonight, live from Snoqualmie Casino. So get your text fingers ready. 49451. We are going to do it true. I got to tell you something, man.
What's
before
up,
we get
bro?
started on the show, man.
What's up?
I was looking at my phone tonight,
Okay.
like around 5:30, 6 o'clock,
Yeah.
and I was really expecting to see a phone call pop up on my phone.
Okay.
I was looking for your name, and I was expecting to hear you on the other ends. Hey, T, man, I ain't going to be able to make it tonight.
Why? What's
I
up?
thought you was I'm not feeling so good. I thought you was going to give me the sick call. You know why?
Why?
It's a Jay-Z concert in town tonight, man.
You know what, man?
It's a Jay-Z concert in town tonight. We are competing with Jay-Z tonight.
Yeah, Hove, man. You know what? I had a chance to go.
Uh-huh.
I had a chance to go. My younger brother and a couple of my cousins, man, my brother's wife, she does some stuff for Rock Nation.
Oh.
So they got the tickets for the dirt.
Oh, is that right?
So, he was like, yeah, you want to go? I was like, man, I got this thing. I got a thing.
This thing, this
But-
barbershop thing
Yeah.
I got to do sometimes.
But I was going to try to go afterwards, baby, because you know how I try to double dip and hit
Yes,
both of them. But I
I
couldn't
know
make
you
it
do.
happen, man. I got the kids, got the wife, blah, blah, blah. So I'm here, T.
So no
I'm here with
Jay-Z,
you.
you hit the barbershop at Snoqualmie Casino. I appreciate that, man, because it's a
Yeah.
tough call. I know how you love to hit the
Man.
shows, man. You and I we went to one a couple years ago when Jay-Z and Beyonce came to town. The show was live. It was probably one of the livest concerts I've been
Yeah.
to, man. And so I know it's a big deal. People in Seattle are going crazy about this thing, man. I almost forgot about it, to tell you the truth.
I
And then-
did forget. That's the crazy thing,
Yeah,
T.
somebody hit me, and I was like, wait a minute, Jay-Z coming. And it's the same night as the show. Because I wanted to go.
Right.
I wanted to go a little bit. So when I was thinking about the show tonight, and I knew that for sure that you was coming instead of to the concert, I started really thinking about Jay, man. And, for a long time, I've been having this argument and discussion with people about who the best rapper of all time is. And for a long time in my, in my adulthood, I always been a Tupac fan.
I figured that.
I've always said Tupac was my favorite rapper of all time, hands down. He's the best.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how we do, man. Especially in the barbershop, we go back and forth. Who's the best? Tupac, Biggie, Nas, all that stuff. Right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't until the last maybe 3 or 4 years that I started putting Jay-Z in that conversation, man. And I really think that Jay-Z is probably one of the best rappers of all time.
Well, the thing that's always been my argument, and I don't know. I know there's a lot of Pac fans out there, but my thing with Pac was that his career and how they did him after he was gone, and he made all these thousands and millions of songs with double CDs
Right.
and all this music that in my opinion was not done very well.
Right.
I know it would have been different if he was still alive and he was doing all this stuff, but that kind of swayed me away from Pac. And, you know, I lean more towards the Biggies and the Jays. And I guess that's just my East Coast flair from Tacoma.
Bias, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The East Coast of Tacoma,
Y'all
kid.
be wearing them
So-
butter Tims out in the T-Town and the camouflage.
So, yeah, man, I just always been a little biased. But that's just my personal opinion, man.
Yeah, you know, I look again at Jay-Z, man. I look at the guy, man. He sold 100 million records. He has 21 Grammys, man. 3 American Music Awards, 2 Billboard Music Awards, 7 BET Awards, 8 MTV Music Awards, and he's just been so influential in the culture, man, when it comes to not just the music in itself, because we always know that he's always been a very, very good lyricist. He's been, you know, rated as one of the top lyricists of all time, but he just made so many things happen in the culture from, you know, people started drinking champagne, Cristal, because of Jay-Z. And then people stopped drinking Cristal because of Jay-Z. People started, you know, focusing more on the business side of things. And he's becoming a mogul in the business, not just when it comes to just the rap music and the record label, but even clothing. And now, you know, he's moved on to some other things where they now managing athletes and doing that type of thing. I think he's just such a big influence in the culture at large. And to have him in the city today is huge. And to have us competing with him is big, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of pumped up about that. And so I kind of wanted the theme of the show today to be a little bit about Jay-Z.
Okay, T, I see you.
We're the barbershop.
Okay.
We do what we want to do, a little bit. But let's look at all the songs that he's had and the hits that he's had over the years. I want the people out there that are listening to help me figure out, what is the best Jay-Z song of all time? Because there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of hits, man. And we want to hear from you guys out there that listen to this music. Text us in here. What is your favorite Jay-Z song? 49451. Hit us up. Let us know. We're going to be taking them all throughout the show. My man Nate Daniel is back at the studio. What's going on, man?
I'm looking for rap Christmas songs for
Come on, man.
the rejoiners.
Did anybody say anything about rap Christmas songs?
It was a surprise, but you caught me off guard. I had to say something.
Please don't. Listen, it's only like 2 good rap Christmas
There's
songs.
a bunch
man.
of good ones.
No.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
There's not, man.
There's Santa
You
Claus
gonna play-
Goes Straight to the Ghetto. There's Christmas in
good.
Hollis.
Is that the Nate Dogg one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Claus.
I'm trying to find a clean
That's
one,
it
though.
right there. Ooh, yeah.
But what I would like you to do, Nate Daniel, if you could, man, find us some hot Jay-Z songs. We're going to hear from the people out there tonight and let us know what their favorite Jay-Z song is. True.
I'll delay the rap Christmas to next week then.
I appreciate you, man. You're so thoughtful, man. True. Something I really wanted to talk to you about that's been weighing on me, man, for a couple weeks. It's actually been weighing on me for a long time, but you and I discussed it ad nauseum on this show.
Nauseam. Ad nauseum.
Outside of this show. Ad nauseum. It's your boy, LeVar Ball. And, you know, you've been a guy that's been in LeVar's corner since the very beginning, and I get it. I get all the reasons why you think, you know, he's good for his family, he's good for his kids and whatnot. But I want to look at what he's doing right now on so many different levels, and I still want to see if you feel the same way, man.
All right.
So basically with me, it started just last week or a week and a half ago when he decided to remove his son, LeAngelo, from UCLA.
Right.
You know, LeAngelo's the kid that went over there to China with the UCLA basketball team and allegedly stole some Louis Vuitton shades.
He did.
He stole.
Yeah.
He ain't even no alleged to. He stole
did,
it,
yeah.
right? And so they came back, and these guys were suspended indefinitely. They were still at school, still enrolled, but they were just not going to play basketball for sure for this season. And LeVar said, forget that. I'm removing you out of school. We're gonna do our own thing. You're no longer going to UCLA. So first of all, I want to get your take on that alone, because to me, that is so foul.
I would say to the nude eye, I would say it looks terrible, it's foul, and you could even call it bad parenting, I guess, if you want to. And a lot of people are calling it that. There's a lot of people taking shots at him for all types of reasons. But I try to take myself out of my own shoes and put myself in his position and what he's trying to do, the empire he's trying to build. And like he said, there's no time to waste. You got to strike while you hot, even if that means I don't know what they're going to be doing. Are they going to be doing homeschool?
No, here's what happened. I thought originally they were going to do homeschool.
Right.
So, and that still, to me, was going to be messed up because you have an opportunity to go to a Division I school, an accredited university like UCLA, go and get your degree if that's what you choose to do, or, go the basketball road. It's very, there's a lot of esteem attached to that. But instead, what he's doing now is he's taking LiAngelo out of UCLA, taking the younger brother, LaMelo, who was a sophomore who got bumped up to be a junior, taking both of these young kids and going to Lithuania to play basketball professionally in Lithuania, of all places.
Right.
Like, why would you do that to your kids, man? Lithuania, of all places. It's not even a B league or a C league, man. This is like, have you ever seen the movie Borat?
Yep.
He's like over there playing basketball with Borat. They're shooting baskets with Borat.
Well, you know what, man? I hope he has a reality show or put something together. What I compare this to, T, and I haven't said this out loud yet, but I've been thinking about it. I compare this to like the Kardashian empire type of thing and what he's trying to do here. By any means necessary, you put yourself out there and you go get it and you build the empire for your family. LeVar Ball is what's the mom's name?
Kris Jenner.
Yeah, Kris Jenner. He is the Kris Jenner, and he's trying to build this empire with these boys and put it together by going out and saying the craziest stuff, doing the craziest stuff, and I think it's all for show. Even during the game, if you watch the game the other day, he's standing up, he giving high five to Spike Lee and doing all this stuff, and the other kids, they just sitting there watching the game, but he has to go out and do this, and I think that's his role and that's his job. So I'm not going to knock his hustle. Would I go about it like that? Would I do it like that? No, but everybody got a different style, so I can't hate on the man. I like him as a businessman. He's trying to build his own. He's trying to do his own thing.
I understand what you're saying on one hand, but you're comparing them to the Kardashians. These guys are athletes. These guys are basketball players. They're not – I mean, it is entertainment on one hand.
Everything's entertainment now. It's a new age.
You got to go out there and make buckets, man. If that's what that's what's paying the bills. That's what's going to be the longevity here is us playing basketball. Why not put them in the best position to play basketball and succeed? And we know that a lot of times that doesn't always pan out. If that doesn't pan out, why don't we have this education thing over here going on from one of these accredited universities? Even though he got put out of UCLA, he could have went to school somewhere else. He could have went to – listen, they're both leaving California. Southern California, Chino Hills, beautiful sandy beaches of Chino Hills.
I get
to
it.
go to Lithuania. Do you know there's not probably – the world is going to change so much for these kids in the next 6 months. There's not going to be – you can't go to 7-Eleven. You can't swing on down to Popeyes to get a two-piece spicy.
I think the world is already changing, T. The mentality of go to school, get your degree, and you'll be successful and you'll be a winner is not always realistic to a lot of people. You go to school, you do your thing, and you get in a lot of debt, and then you get out of school, and you work your whole life trying to pay that debt back.
Right.
So what I would say, LeVar is giving his kids an option, and he's taking the other option, and I don't see a lot wrong with that. Going about it the hustle way, grinding, doing it out the trunk. So yeah,
Master P.
Yeah, so he's doing it out the trunk, and like I said, I compare it to the Kardashian. Kim K was first, so
He brought the little sisters along.
So my man on the Lakers is the Kim K. The other kids is the other sisters, and they trying to build the empire. That's what they trying to do, T.
I hear you, man.
So,
I hear what you're saying.
And they already had the reality show, and I would like to see him build off that and see him win off that.
I hear what you're saying. I just don't see it, man. Like I said, at the end of the day, if your meal ticket is playing sports and playing basketball, stick to basketball, homie. And flip that. Let's not talk about the young kids anymore.
Right.
Let's talk about his son that is up there playing in the NBA right now. I mean, Lonzo Ball. First of all, he's playing okay for a rookie, just barely okay. But what my point is,
I think he's pretty good, man.
But listen, LeVar has been having a beef with the head coach. With the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, talking about why his son is not getting the run he's supposed to be having, and in public, and talking about it on radio shows and on TV shows, to the point where Magic Johnson and the staff had to say, listen, They had to bring him in the office and say, look, man, you got to calm it down. You can't disparage the coach during, while we got this going on.
Right.
Can you let me just ask you, as a guy that played professional sports, there's a couple guys at this table right here. Only one of us played professional. How would you react? And I hate to put you on the spot because, chill is chill. Chill likes to chill.
Chill is chill.
What would you do if Chill was out there talking to Coach Holmgren like, Coach Holmgren, you tripping. You need to have my son in cover 1. You got him out there in that cover 2.
Hey, man. I wouldn't like it, of course. I wouldn't like it. But listen, T, it's a different time, man. Back then there was no Twitter and the Instagram. It was, but, I mean, it wasn't as crazy as it is now. So parents always are going to have something to say. Your friends always going to have something to say. There's people in the media that are always going to have something to say. So I'm surprised that they called in Mr. Ball to the front office to say he needs to calm it down, because I think it's just one of those things that, as of right now, all press is good press.
You wouldn't think it would be a distraction to the team?
Wouldn't think it would be a distraction, because fans are fans or parents are parents. The head coach and even Magic Johnson, they shouldn't even care about what LeVar Ball says. Being a professional, and it should be one ear out the other, and you let that man build his career, show out on the sideline and do everything you want, and it shouldn't affect the team.
I'm just going to say, like you said, it's a different day and time. Some things change for the better, some things change for the worse. Some things should not ever change. And I'm just trying to imagine a situation where Michael Jordan's daddy was like, talking to Phil Knight, like, yo, you need to put my son in more one-on-one situations, man, because he's balling. He's the future. He's better than everybody on the court. Forget a Scottie Pippen. Forget a coach. It's all about my son. I can't see it. I mean,
a lot of parents probably have done that in the college ranks, even in the NBA. But now that everything is so out there, and they created this monster of LeVar Ball, that he has power, T. They called this man into the head office. Magic Johnson called him in.
Because they want him to shut up.
But that's power, bro.
I guess so, man. I guess so.
Kardashian money.
That's some power.
Go get it, LeVar.
Maybe I need to change my way of thinking, man, because I need to get to some of that money, too. Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk about the Seahawks and Jaguars, but not about the game just yet. I want to talk about some of that extracurricular activity that took place on the field, True. We want to get your opinion on it. We want to hear what they think about there in Seattle. And also, of course, we want to find out what your favorite Jay-Z song is. Let us know. 49451. It's the Barbershop coming to you live from Snoqualmie Casino right here on Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Now back to the Barbershop, brought to you by Trufant Auto Detail and by the Trufant Family Foundation on Seattle Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Welcome back to the Barbershop Show here on Sports Radio 950 KJR. It's T. Holla. I'm here with Marcus Trufant, and we are coming to you live from Snoqualmie Casino, Seattle's closest casino, where you can get the above it all experience. You guys should be down here with us every Wednesday before the Seahawks have a home game. Thank you for joining us from wherever you at, though, right now. Tonight is the big Jay-Z concert at the Key Arena. 444 is the name of the show, the name of the album. True and I decided not to be there tonight. We decided to be here with you guys instead, True.
And not today. And, we thought about it hard, though, because, we know what Jay-Z does to us. A lot of people, they used to coin Jay-Z with that Illuminati mess and all that. But at the concert, that last concert we went to, man, and you just look around the stadium and the control he had over the crowd was kind of crazy, though.
It was crazy. Because you know what it was? He has so many hits, man. So many great songs that everybody knows all the words to. So everybody was singing along as they was going along. And we're going to be playing some of the greatest hits tonight. But we want to know from you guys, what is your favorite Jay-Z song of all time? 49451. Text us here, man. Let us know. Big Pimp. What was that? Dirt Off Your Shoulders was a good one.
That was Dirt Off Your Shoulders.
Daniel just played it. Dirt Off Your Shoulders always gets me pumped up. I used to listen to that every time I go work out, like over and over. That was my song, man. But we want to hear from you guys. 49451. What's your favorite Jay-Z song? True. Last weekend, the Seahawks and the Jaguars played, man, and, it ended in a way that kind of rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And, there was some extracurricular activity that took place, and I kind of wanted to break that down with you real quick. At the end of the game, the Seahawks, they fought back. They were down 3 scores heading into the fourth quarter, and they fought their way back. Russell Wilson had some late-game theatrics like he always does. And it got down to the point where the Jaguars got the ball back with just seconds left on the clock. And the Seahawks were still playing. The Jags were dropping back into the victory formation, but the Seahawks were still playing, and it ended up where Michael Bennett looked like he took a swipe at the ball, ended up rolling up on the center's legs, and they took offense to it. Some people started pushing, and some fisticuffs happened, and some people got ejected, thrown out. My question to you is, afterwards, I started hearing some talk around the city and around the country about how the Seahawks team is dirty.
Come on.
What do you think about that when you hear people say the Seahawks are dirty?
I think that's just TV talk or broadcast talk or radio talk, kind of like we're doing right now. The Seahawks in no way, shape, or form are dirty. Did they have a time of weakness or a time of loss of composure?
But,
I would say yeah.
But do you think even that what happened at the end of the game was a loss of composure? Because I think what happened was they were just so caught up in the game and the fact that they are coached and taught and it is ingrained in them that they play into the very last whistle and they fight to defend every blade of grass and they play until there's no more play left. I think they thought they were going to get the ball back.
Come on now.
What?
How much time was left
You
when
think
Mike?
they were just...
How much time was left when that last play happened? And the victory formation, usually victory means victory. So I don't know how much time was left, how many scores. I can't remember. But
anything can happen. What if he fumbled the ball?
The game was over.
Okay.
The game was over. So I say it's frustration, and I get it. The Hawks, just like you said, they fought back. They made some great plays, and they gave themselves an opportunity at the end of the game to have a chance to win. But it just wasn't enough time, and it just wasn't going to happen. So the victory formation, I get it. That you can go hard at them, and you can do that.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, that's fine. Yes. As long as you keep it clean. And, I mean, it's not the way of doing it. I guess in the NBA, they say if you're winning the game, you don't run down the court and you don't dunk it at the end of the game. That's kind of like an unsaid rule. You kind of dribble it out.
What if you had never had a dunk before?
And then you can go do it. It's not against the rules. It's not illegal to do. So, yeah, you can come in and you can hit somebody. The other team's not going to like it, but you can go like that. But as long as you don't go over the top, kind of what the Seahawks did, I call it frustration. I call it, they just lost it for a minute. Right. And I get that, and I see the passion, but you got to be able to keep it in check. And what was the unfortunate part was when they put the subs in the game, and my man came in and did the same damn thing. So that's what you can't have. And I know Pete was livid and is still probably pretty upset. I looked at his face on the sideline. I could tell that
he ran on the field and took a penalty for the team.
But I'm just saying. But I could tell that he wanted to do more. And if he could at that time, he probably would have put some guys off the team.
Yeah.
But you can't do that.
Right. So and then after all that melee happened on the field, Quentin Jefferson got ejected, and he started heading to the tunnel. And everybody, unless you've been in a cave underneath the rock, you know what happened next. He got into it with some fans. Some fans said some derogatory things to him and ended up throwing beer and bottles and whatever at him. And he took attempts to get into the stands to get at whoever it was that was getting at him. And it just got to a point where it was really ugly. What is your take on that? 'Cause let me tell you real quick before I go on. Because I was listening to some of the other people around the city, some of the critics, some of the experts, and, they were saying they were just so embarrassed. I'm just so embarrassed of these guys and the way they've reacted. Why in the hell are you embarrassed? I mean, are you related to Quentin Jefferson? Does he speak for you? I understand he plays for the Seattle Seahawks and that's your team, but do you owe him money?
I think that's one of those situations where it's go and do your job on the field, but stay in your place type of situation. And these are grown men out there, and I'm not saying, of course, what this young man did is right, but these are men out there. These are proud men, and like I said, sometimes you have a lapse of judgment and you are frustrated. So that's why I say fans actually should be careful.
Yeah.
You never know what the next man is going through, what type of day he's had, and you are throwing stuff at him and you cursing at him. And, as a player, he's supposed to restrain and he's supposed to act a certain way and take all that. But they're lucky that gate wasn't a couple feet lower, and that young man didn't jump over the stands. We all seen what happened a couple years ago with the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah.
Jump in the stands. You got Steven Jackson, everybody going ham. And the fans really don't want that. I know it sounds fun to throw a beer at a player as he walks away, and you can brag to your friends and all that, but you really don't want to get in a fight with a 3.
Have you seen Quentin Jefferson?
Exactly. That's why I said fans got to be careful, and you got to think about it. You got to go to work on Monday. This is what this man does on Sunday. He's out here to hurt people, so be careful.
Hey, listen, I want to go more in detail with this later on in the show. We got to cut out of here right now, but there's so many layers and levels to this story that I want to discuss with you, True, and I want to hear from the fans out there what your take on it is. 49451. Let us know what you think about the Quentin Jefferson interaction with the fans and what happened to the fans. And, of course, this is the Jay-Z Extravaganza show. Since we're competing with Jay-Z concert tonight, we want to know what your favorite Jay-Z song is. 49451. Text us here and let us know. It's the Barbershop coming to you live from Snoqualmie Casino on Sports Radio 950.
I'm out for presidents to represent me. I'm out for dead.
By Trufant Auto Detail and by the Trufant Family Foundation on Seattle Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Welcome back to the Barbershop Show. Coming to you live from Snoqualmie Casino. It's T. Holla and True. It's about 7:09 here on a beautiful Wednesday night, and we are missing the Jay-Z concert. But it's okay. We are rocking Jay-Z cuts all night, all your favorite Jay-Z cuts. We want to know what your favorite Jay-Z song is, matter of fact. Text us here at 49451 and let us know. We've been getting some good answers for you already. We're going to read those off a little bit later on tonight. But right now, there's another thing that's happening here pretty soon here, True.
Mm-hmm.
December 15th, man. I've been waiting for it for a long time. Nathaniel, give it to me. I know you know what this music is.
Right.
You know what it is?
Right. What is this music, True? Here's your first question.
I mean, it sounds like outer space stuff. Sounds like outer space.
It is kind of outer spacey.
Star Trek or Star Wars.
No, it's not Star Trek. Don't ever say that. That's sacrilegious, man. This is Star Wars.
Ain't they kind of the same? Ain't they cousins? Ain't they?
Not at all. Nowhere even close, man. I'm a Star Wars junkie. Been one since I was little, man. And so they have the next in the long line of sequels.
Should you even tell him the name or make him guess what the name is, too?
Well, no, that's no. We gon' look. I have, put together a list of questions for True.
Star Wars, the return of the blah blah blah.
Pretty close. Pretty close.
Right,
it is the Last Jedi. It is the Last Jedi.
Okay.
And a little secret I want to let y'all know how big of a Star Wars nerd I am, man. So in Star Wars they have the thing called the Force, right?
Okay.
The Jedis.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, when I was young, I used to think I was a Jedi, man. I used to play sports, like football and stuff. I used to think I had the Force, and I could make people get out the way with my mind. I was in control of the midichlorians.
Who?
We can't get that far. You can't go that far with him.
I'm sorry.
Well, T, was the Force kind of like the Last Dragon when Bruce Leroy kind of had the glow, right?
Pretty close to it.
Okay, all right.
It's
I
the
can
Force.
understand it in that term.
Close enough.
When the Force don't stop. Well, True, in honor of the movie, I want to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
Very simple, rudimentary Star Wars questions, man. Even the average person will be able to answer these. You ready?
Okay.
All right. So first question is, who is Luke Skywalker's father?
Luke, I am your father.
That's the one.
Darth?
Huh?
Not to be confused with Darth.
Dark?
Dark Vader? No,
Darth
Darth?
Vader. It is right. That is right, True. Look.
For a long time, I thought it was Dark Vader, though, for a long time.
You know what? I
Right,
did too.
yeah. All right.
Dark Vader, because it fits, right?
Right, yeah,
It's kind of
right.
dark, man. All right. What is the name of the robot that rolls around in Star Wars The Force Awakens?
Yeah, is it R2 or CP? CP3? R2D2? Or CP3? P out.
We'll just skip that one.
CP3. Chris Paul is now a robot in
CP3.
Star Wars.
CP3. That little robot be hitting threes, cuz.
That's wrong.
All right.
It's BB-8.
But which one was it, though?
Its name is BB-8. It is
Oh,
the newest
snap.
robot added to the Star Wars franchise.
Okay, well, yeah, that's cheating then. a trick question.
All right, here's another one. What is Darth Vader's real name, True?
Han Solo.
Give him one more. Guess
that
what?
close?
Give him one more guess.
One
That's
more
wrong.
guess. It's
one
not
more
Han
guess.
Solo.
Not Luke Skywalker because that's his son.
Yeah.
So, but Darth
They got the same last name.
Vader.
There wasn't an illegitimate situation. That case, his real daddy, they carried the same last name.
Anakin.
What's Anakin's
Walker?
last name?
Anakin Walker. We gonna let that fly, man. We gonna let that ride. That's his new name, Anakin Walker. Anakin Skywalker book. Anakin Walker is good, True. You did pretty good for somebody that is really not into it like that.
I don't know how I missed it either, man. I'm not sure, but I never got into it.
Yeah.
I never got into it.
I'm gonna get you into it, man. As long as we keep rocking with this barbershop, man, I'm gonna somehow, some way, get into your house with the box set, Blu-ray, DVD, and we're gonna sit down for like 6 days.
I need to see what that Anakin Walker is talking about, man. See what he's talking about.
That sounds like a new drink we're going to have to invent. I don't need a cup of that Anakin Walker, baby. Hey, listen, the Seahawks played the Jags last weekend, and, they were coming off what I would consider their best game of the season versus Philly. They put together a complete game from the first quarter to the fourth quarter. It was looking good. They went out there against the Jags. All of Seattle was hype and ready. They were thinking that they were going to go down there and play a Jacksonville team that was slightly overrated and put that beat down on them. Everybody was very confident, and they crapped the bed. They scrapped the bed. First quarter, the Seahawks looked absolutely horrible. Russ looked like somebody we did not recognize. He could not complete any balls to anybody, threw 3 picks. It was just ugly in the first half. And it got to a point, True, in that game where I'll be honest with you, it got to about the third quarter, and Mike Davis went down clutching his ribs. Mm-hmm. And, he was a guy that I actually looked relatively good. Like, I was like
real good.
Very impressed with Mike Davis. Mm-hmm. And then he went down. The Seahawks were already down 3 scores. I was like, this is over, man. I've never been at a point with this team, the way that they look over the past 5-6 years, where I said it's over for this team. And at that point, I did. And fortunately for me, I was wrong. The Seahawks did make a nice comeback. But what did you see was going on in that game from your perspective? To me, like I said, it was just bad football for about 3 quarters, man.
I think I disagree, T. I mean, it wasn't. Yeah, I think they were playing a really good team in the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I won't even take it that far. I thought the Jags individually by position were getting a lot of good plays from individual guys, even offensively and defensively. Who was the young man that had all the drops before this week's number 11? Marcus Lee. Yeah. He came out and he was making some nice plays, some really nice plays. And it's not that they were running this great scheme and great offensive strategy. He was making some individually nice catches and nice plays. And the quarterback, he was going out there. He was throwing the ball.
You got Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
So
Blake
that's
Bortles.
the thing. They were making Blake Bortles look like Johnny Unitas out there, man. He was a guy that's been at the bottom of the barrel in the NFL as far as quarterback since I can remember. And he just, I don't know if he's that good, but he looked incredible on this past weekend.
I think his guys are really showing up for him. And the run game, I think, is really helping them.
Yeah.
The Jags, they stick to the run game. They got big Fournette back there, and he's definitely a grown man back there.
Full grown.
I've seen some of the DBs coming up there to make tackles, and they, I know from personal experience, you really don't want to come up there and tackle a guy like that.
Right,
so,
right.
But he definitely opened things up. But like I said, individually, all the way around, they made a lot of good plays. So I don't think the Seahawks were really playing as terrible as everybody's really making it seem for those first couple quarters. I know the stats may say that, but I just think the Jags, they really played well individually, and they came out and made plays.
What was that, man? I didn't even hear what that was.
It's from a long time ago. It's a sportscaster going, it was an old-fashioned butt whooping.
I thought that was Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, I thought that was Anakin Walker came through the procedure. But no, seriously, I want to something I want to address too, and you know, it's not to give any excuses, but to really look at the situation from a realistic vantage point. The Seahawks, you know, they always have that mantra, and we've talked about it forever. Next man up. You know, it doesn't matter what happens, who goes down, it's the next man up. Mm-hmm. And I think, you know, that's good to have in theory as a mantra. But you look at where the Seahawks are right now, True. They've lost Richard Sherman for the season. He's a future Hall of Famer Pro Bowler. Mm-hmm. You cannot just replace that. I don't care who. You can put somebody in the fill-in, but you're not going to replace that.
Right.
On the other side of him, you've had a rookie that's been playing lights out all season, Shaq Griffith. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, he's still a rookie. But the Jacksonville Jaguars respected him enough to not really even throw his way. You got Byron Maxwell coming off the street just a couple games ago, and you know he's doing pretty good.
Right, I think he's making good plays.
He's making good plays, but these are listen where I'm getting at. So you have him in there. Mm-hmm. You have Cliff Averill gone for the season.
Right.
You have Bobby Wagner, who's been hampered by a hamstring, who's been playing lights out, defensive player of the year type of football, but he's out. KJ Wright has concussion. He's out. So many different injuries across the board on that defense. How long can you keep saying next man up? You can't have an entire defense of next men and be successful.
Well, yes. At the beginning of the season, coaches and the teams, they pray that they can stay as injury-free as possible because your team can only go as far as your big-time players can play. So, of course, the injury bug is going to be there. But like I said earlier, you got to – good teams, they find a way to weather that storm, and it is a storm. Yeah. Guys are gone for the year, but you got to keep playing. You want to try to find your way into the playoffs, and it's a new season, and you just hope that the guys that step up into that to that next man up role, that they shine, or they can have the bend but don't break mentality. So it's not the same Seahawks, especially on defense. It's a lot of guys gone, so I think we got to factor that in when we start to come down on this team that is still playing pretty good, and it's not to talk down on anybody that's out there, but they're playing damn good, I think, for the people that they have out there, for the situation that they're in.
Yeah, and again, they're in a hell of a situation. The injury bug is just so ridiculous. It's almost like the way the Seattle Mariners pitching was going this past season. It seems like, you know, you turn on the TV and there's a bunch of names that you've never seen, you don't recognize, you never expected to be in there. This is the team. Now, these guys are still on the roster. Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman, Cliff Averill, Bobby, these guys are still on the roster, but yet you turn on the TV and you see Bradley McDougall. And you see a Shaq Griffin, who, again, is playing very well. But you see names that you don't recognize, guys that haven't had the success that we've been used to in the past.
Especially at the linebacker core, yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So I want to talk to you about this real quick, too. Last week, the Seahawks defensive front had exactly 0 sacks. And I know in the past you have always said the best coverage when it comes to being a defensive back is a sack.
Absolutely.
And can they continue to move forward like this? You cannot, in my opinion, they cannot move forward making any strides towards the playoffs if they're not able to get any more pressure on quarterbacks than they had. Like I said, they made Blake Bortles look like a superstar MVP quarterback this past weekend just because he was basically unflustered. He was able to sit back there and throw the ball around with impunity and without being able to get any pressure on him, on any of these quarterbacks. We stuck for a long road for the rest of the way, True.
I think it goes hand in hand. You know, I love the big guys up front. I always have, like you said, the best coverage has always been a sack, but it goes hand in hand. The coverage and the pressure have to work together. The guys on the back, they got to hold it down long enough so the pressure can get there, and it's vice versa. The guys up front got to put pressure on so the ball comes out fast, and then you get the tip balls, and then you get the bad throws and all that kind of stuff. So it's got to go hand in hand. So they got to find that happy medium. And if it's the guys up front and they got to get after it a little bit more. And it's not always a sack. It's just making the quarterback uncomfortable. Right. But like I said last week, I think these receivers and the guys on offense for the Jags, I think they was doing some great stuff.
Right.
So it was I think it was hard to get those sacks, to get that pressure, because the wide receivers were getting separation, and it was making it happen.
Yeah. So skipping past that game, we kind of want to flush that game, get it out of our system. Like I'm sure they have already done that. They flushed it out of their system Sunday night. Looking forward to the Los Angeles Rams coming into the clink this weekend. This is a big, big game with so many playoff implications. If the Seahawks win, they basically can write their own ticket. They got the catbird seat to win in the division, which is going to give them a playoff berth. The question here is, can the Seahawks hold off a very good Los Angeles Rams team with the injuries that they're facing, with missing potentially a Bobby Wagner with a hamstring injury? We don't know what's going to happen with him. With a KJ Wright under the concussion protocol, you're looking at trying to stop a guy like Todd Gurley, who's a beast on the run game, and then a young quarterback by the name of Jared Goff, who's been incredible with Cooper Kupp, the receiver that we're familiar with here in the state of Washington. Can they pull it off, man?
You know what it comes down to, T? It comes down to being, especially on defense. I'm just talking strictly defense because that's where most of the guys or the next man up are at. It comes down to who can be assignment sound on defense. I was watching the game, and I thought the linebackers that stepped up, Alexander especially, he came in, he made some nice plays, but then there will be a play where he would be out of position or he wouldn't be in the right gap. So it's how long can you stay assignment sound? Even though you're a backup, you're a hell of an athlete. You're in the NFL for a reason, and you come in and you play ball, but it's not about how strong you are, how fast you are, and nobody on that team is a Bobby Wagner and can do what he does, but you can be in the right position. You could do all the right stuff, and that's what's going to get this team to the next level. If they could be assignment sound and play well and do the right stuff, they don't have to make a bunch of one-handed catches, a bunch of tackles for loss. Be in the right spot and make the plays you're supposed to play, and I think that's what it comes down to.
I'm going to talk about that real quick. You talk about being in the right place and being fundamentally sound. That is the one play in the game last week that really just burnt me up. Like I could take everything that happened in the first half. I could take all the mistakes. I could take the drop passes. I could take some of the big catches that were made. It was at the end of the game when the Seahawks had an opportunity to get the ball back, and it was 3rd and 11. And the Jacksonville Jaguars were in a position where everybody in the entire world knew they were going to run the ball.
Right.
And in that normal situation, the Seattle Seahawks defense would, allow at most a 5-yard gain or 4-yard gain. All the starters were in there. But they were just not fundamentally sound. Right. A linebacker was out of position, and Leonard Fournette gashed them, not for 11 yards, but for 13 yards, and put the nail in the coffin for the Seattle Seahawks, and which led to some of that extracurricular activity that I absolutely want to continue to talk about. So hopefully the Seahawks can pull it together. They can get some of those injury issues taken care of by this weekend, and they can come out with a victory versus the Los Angeles Rams at the CenturyLink Field this weekend. When we come back, though, True, talking about some of that extracurricular activity, I want to delve deeper into it, find out what you think about Quentin Jefferson, how he responded to being called out of his name, to having things thrown at him on the field, and, maybe has True ever been in a situation where he felt that some of the fans were getting at him a little extra tough? I want to find that out. Make sure you stay tuned to the Barbershop. Coming to you live from Snoqualmie Casino, Seattle's closest casino, right here on Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Now back to the Barbershop, brought to you by Trufant Auto Detail and by the Trufant Family Foundation on Seattle Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Hey, oh. Welcome back to the Barbershop Show here on Sports Radio 950 KJR. It's T. Holla and True. Having fun down here at Snoqualmie Casino, Seattle's closest casino, where we are at every week that the Seahawks have a home game. Always a good time hanging out down here. True, tonight we are missing the Jay-Z 444 concert because we wanted to come hang out with our friends and family here in the Barbershop. We love y'all just that much. But tonight we've been asking you guys, what is your favorite Jay-Z song? So we've been trying to get that from you guys, man. And you guys have been hitting us up with a lot of good suggestions. True, somebody says from the 808. We got people calling in from the 808.
808?
Big Pimpin' is their favorite one.
Okay.
206 says Song Cry. Appreciate that. 253 says Can't Knock the Hustle. No, they don't know about Reasonable Doubt album, True.
Yeah, they don't know about that.
West
man.
Coast
That's for real,
kids probably
Jay.
don't know about that. Yeah, that's a classic. Thank you, guys. Real quick before we go on, man, I want to tell you my Jay-Z story. I went to a Jay-Z concert, Jay-Z and Kanye concert in Tacoma, your city.
Tax Streets, all right.
Man, let me tell you, and it might be one of my favorite Jay-Z songs. So they did the whole concert, all their hits, right? They get to the end of the show, and they had this song called N-Words in Paris.
Who?
N-Words in Paris.
Okay.
As Nathaniel would say.
That's that word I can't say.
Right.
As Nathaniel would say. And the song was so hot at the time, and it was just it get people so amped. The people around the country loved it so much. It was, when it comes on, it says, we're only going to skate to one song and one song only. Bruh, I've never seen anything like this in my life. They played that song 15 times back to back.
No.
From front to the whole entire song. They play the song at the end, and he'd be like, let's do it again. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun.
And y'all just lost your mind.
Everybody, every single time. Every 15 times in a row they did.
That's like for, 30 minutes or so?
Yeah, longer than that. It just kept going. The show wouldn't end because they kept playing the song over and over.
Oh, okay.
was
At the end of the show, okay.
Yeah, it was at the end of
That's
the show.
pretty live.
Speaking of end of the show, man, I want to ask you this. I found this out today in the Barbershop group. If you guys aren't a part of the official Barbershop group on Facebook, you are missing out. I found out some new information I did not know today. I want to find out if you knew this. Nathaniel, can you play that track?
Wonder where I've been.
Hey, see what you know about that.
I searched to find.
I know you know old school songs. Listen to this real quick, though. I want you to hear this.
I came back to let you know.
Now, you know that song. You've heard that song your whole life. I've heard that song my whole life.
Right.
You know what I did not know, and I want to know if you knew this.
What's that?
That's a white dude singing that song. Did you know that was a white dude singing that song?
You know what? I did because my dad...
Come on, you didn't know.
My dad is a 70s cat, but it took me a while, though.
Yeah.
It took me in a while, and I can see where you could be like, yeah, that's gotta be Soul Brother #1 singing that, right?
Man, it sounds like he is gargling collard green water
Right.
while he's singing that song.
Come on.
Like it's so soulful, and I automatically for 40 years of my life,
Yeah.
man, I thought that was a black dude, man.
That's crazy.
And found out today in the official Barbershop page
Yeah.
that it was not.
Hey,
Crazy.
baby, shout out to the white guys for soul.
Yeah, I
man.
love the white guys with soul, man. You always get a pass.
It's
from
another
me.
group called the Average White Band. And,
Yes.
and,
Yep.
and of course, that's white guys, but they got it too, bro.
Yeah, they do. Speaking of old school, man, I want to reach out. We want to talk about some of this extracurricular activity that took place with the Seahawks this past weekend. And I figured, why not reach out to somebody who's old school and get their opinion on that? And somebody
Okay.
that we always respect and love, my boy Macaroni Tony. And we got to have his theme music before we call him up, man. Nathaniel, can you get me going, please?
Who's that?
I got to call Macaroni Tony. Figure out what he thought about this football game and the extracurricular fisticuffs that took place. Hold on. Let me get him on the line.
Hello?
Macaroni, what's up,
Hello?
man? You there?
Yeah, that's me. What's happening with it, man?
Macaroni Tony, man, how you been, brother?
Oh, it's the fellas. I'm doing well. How are you brothers doing, man?
You doing good, man.
Doing great, brother.
Doing great. We wanted to get some
Is that
advice.
Marcus Rufon?
That's
Yeah,
Marcus
what's
Truffaut.
up, Mac? What's up, Mac?
Oh, Mark, I just been telling, man. I've been late, man. I'm sitting outside a marijuana spot right now trying to... They just, look, man, they just kicked me out because I didn't have the proper identification.
You
So
know
I'm
you
just
can't
waiting
go
to see
to
if
the
I can
marijuana
find
spot
some.
without ID, Mac.
I got it. It just, the numbers ain't up to date.
It's like your license is expired.
Yeah.
Listen, Mac, we don't want to talk about the marijuana right now, man, because it was a family show, the Barbershop show, man. I want to find out, man, did you watch the Seahawks game last weekend versus the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Naturally, I did.
Okay. Now, at the end of the game, some stuff happened. Michael Bennett got accused of doing some cheap shots, some dirty shots to one of the
Right.
Jacksonville Jaguar linemen. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't think that's the way that I see it, fellas. I got an old school partner named Earl.
Earl.
All right, and yeah, Earl.
Okay.
And Earl used to always tell me, man. I always used to come. He say, Matt. I say, yeah, Earl. He say, you know, everybody got choices. And I say, yeah. And then, but everybody always make the right choices. And I say, no.
No.
And I think that's the problem with that brother right there. He's a good brother. I don't think he's a dirty player or a dirty individual. However, he lacks emotional maturity.
Oh, Michael Bennett lacks emotional maturity?
Am I wrong? Or am I right?
That's your opinion, man.
Listen to me why I say it, though. Listen when I say you got choices.
Yeah.
Life is about choices, fellas. And see, what happened is, let me ask you this, because this is the first thing I noticed about the play. So listen to me so you can follow my logic. Okay. It was about 3 men on the defensive front line that fired off the ball. Everybody else looked like they was going to concede the loss. Am I correct?
Right.
So my thing is, if your fellows were really trying to make a play on the ball, I think everybody on the team would have been on the same page. All right. So what I say about the choices, I believe he was frustrated, and frustration comes from a lack of emotional maturity. Am I wrong or am I correct, fellas?
I would say this though. I would say you're wrong. I would disagree with you.
Oh,
And
well,
of
tell me
course,
now,
I respect my elders, but I would say you're wrong because it's not like he went outside the the lines of the rules of the game. You're supposed to fire off, and it's a
No,
tough game.
hear me out now, Marcus. Marcus, hear me out now.
All right.
You done been enough. You probably done played some offense in your life, at least at a young age, maybe.
Right. Yeah, I did a little bit.
Okay, and you done played a lot of defense. High caliber defense. Okay, and so listen to me when I say this. You know, when you playing ball with respect to another ball player, when you're looking across that line, you know if we're getting ready to fire off and make a play on the ball or if we're not. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to be able to let off some steam, and if you're not ready,
Yeah, but that's what I'm
coaches
talking about. Emotional maturity.
Coaches
You got
always
to
tell
take
you,
that-
though, the time you let up or you think it's not really going down, that's when it's going down. And the Seahawks was losing. They was getting beat up. So if I was on the
No,
offense.
they got beat. They got what?
If I was on the offense, I would have been prepared. I would have been ready. You always ready. You always got your fist up when you in the fight. And you not going to think,
listen,
okay.
I understand that. I'm taking it down to what I believe the truth to be. Now, I understand that, and I completely, you got to keep your guard up and you get hitting them up. Mayweather hit the boy in the mouth because he was smiling and stuff. Hit that boy in the sideways of this Sunday. Listen to me, though. All I'm saying, I don't want to be lame for the point. I just think the reason that he made the choice to fire off was not really about making a play. I believe at that moment it was a frustration move.
And that's
All
okay.
right.
I think it's okay.
I didn't say
be
it's
ready
not
if
okay.
you're on
I just
offense.
think
You
him
be
as a
ready.
player, yeah, he's ready. But then the man pushed him to the ground. He didn't like the way that the man pushed him to the ground because he did him like a little boy.
And he gave him a little tea bag too. He put a little his
Give
junk
him
on
this
top
time.
of his head.
And then, yes, see, I'm just saying, I understand what it is. I'm just saying for that brother and for him, just to keep his brand right and, be an upstanding gentleman in the NFL, he would probably just make a better choice himself, at least with the firing back and whatnot. That's the only part that I feel he may have been in the wrong.
All
Was
right,
the
Macaroni.
the
Hey, you are
extra
listening
fighting.
to the Barbershop. We're coming to you live from Snoqualmie Casino. It's T. Holla and True, and we are talking to our boy, Macaroni Tony. Macaroni, I want to, we talked about Michael Bennett in that last play. Let's flash forward to the end of the game. Quentin Jefferson, another one of his defensive line teammates, got ejected from the game, and on his way to the tunnel, he got into it with some of the fans where they were throwing beer bottles and containers at him, and he tried to jump up into the stands and get at them. What is your take on that situation?
Now. Listen to me. Nah. I stand with that brother, man. I mean, he probably could have kept his cool, but listen to me, man. You don't disrespect no man by throwing no liquid on him. I don't care what kind of what you throw on him, man. Listen to me. Let me tell you something about something happening.
Come on, man.
Fellas. Pardon me?
Come on now.
I'm just going to tell you what I tell you. Because that's just disrespectful. I don't even really got nothing more to say on that. That's disrespectful. It's wrong. All right? Let me tell you about a childhood buddy that I had, man. A childhood friend. Willie Levi. All right? I'm talking about me high to a flea guy. We were buddies. Well, one day, Willie, he done up and got married and everything and had a couple of kids. And one day I had him over to his house. We're talking about 84, 85. And Willie cracked a little joke about my hairdo, fellas. All right. Talked about the Mac hair.
What's wrong with
he
the
said
Mac
it was
hair?
dry. He said it was dry.
Okay.
He said my crop was dry, fella. Said I had to dust the top. I didn't have no activator that day. It was early in the morning, and I was moving around. I was taking my Cadillac up there for Willie to work on. Because,
right.
So, like I said, he working on cars, right, fellas? So, look, somebody. Y'all know a fella who work on cars.
Right.
The hand be all oil and greasy, yet oil all up underneath the nail bed, fella. And so I poured a little water on there. I said, oil spill. He had a little oil spill on the kitchen table and all that stuff. He didn't like that. His little wife, she was over there. She was over there doing her nails, trimming her nails. She started laughing and guffawing and stuff. And I thought, his teeth were looking bad in his mouth. All right. I mean, he had a big old gap in the mouth, and I jumped on that gap. I was talking about the gap. He like you put two, listen, fellas, a big old gap. What the, Husker? I'm sorry, fella. Walsh could probably kick 3 points through the gap he had in the middle of his teeth, man. Well, you could put two whole horse teeth up there in the middle. But listen, he got mad at me because the little boy started laughing when I was getting on him, because I was getting on him. Fella, that man got mad and threw his cereal milk on me, man. And listen to me, I damn near lost my mind, man. I beat the brakes off Willie that day.
Okay, man. Okay.
Listen, and I
All
ain't
that
supposed to Willie this. Don't pour no liquid on no another grown man unless you want to fight.
That's the rule.
Yeah, you feel me?
Don't never pour no liquid on no man unless you want to fight.
You got to be ready to fight about that.
Okay. You guys heard. We're not condoning that. This is not an official barbershop condoning.
You me mad thinking about it.
We will say, don't throw no liquid on no man.
Be careful.
No another man.
Yeah. Hey, Mac, we appreciate the good words, man. And we're going to tune in, man. If we don't catch up with you before the holidays, man, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever it is that you celebrate, man. And we are going to try to reach out to you before Christmas, though, for sure.
Man, absolutely, fellas. Man, I love y'all, brothers, man. Y'all, sometimes when a player run up on a rock, man, it really feels good to tune in to y'all and check you out. So I just thank y'all, brothers, for keeping me in your hearts and your spirits and just reaching out, man. Much love to you, fellas.
Always.
And happy holidays.
Appreciate it. Always.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mac, man, always a good word from him. If you take nothing else from tonight's show, don't pour no liquid on no man. All right?
Ever.
All right, when we come back, we're going to close out the show from Snoqualmie Casino. It's True and T coming to you live on Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Let it bump, though.
Now back to the Barbershop, brought to you by Trufant Auto Detail and by the Trufant Family Foundation on Seattle Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Welcome back to the Barbershop Show here on Sports Radio 950 KJR. It's T. Holla and True. Closing out another incredible, fun show from the Snoqualmie Casino. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. It's been the Jay-Z Extravaganza show. Extravaganza. Because Jay-Z is in town. The concert is going on at the Key Arena, and True and I are not there. We are here hanging out with you guys, and we appreciate you guys for being here hanging out with us. But we have been asking you guys all night, what is your favorite Jay-Z song? And we've been getting a lot of them from you guys. Thank you for your input. Big Pimpin' is one that comes from the 808. I already read that one. We've got a bunch. True, 1,000,001
I was going to play
questions.
Big Pimpin', but True said he wanted 30-something.
Yeah, he wanted 30-something, but that's a good track, too.
I like the friend of foe joint, so you know what I'm saying.
Yep, from the 425, they said H to the Izzo, V to the Izzy. You remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
And then from the 206 says, I'm 53 years old, and I still bump 30-something every chance I get. So that 30 that's a good track, though.
30's
for
the new 20.
For us
So
older
hot
gentlemen.
still, yeah.
Yeah, for us older gentlemen. Yeah. Hey, listen, we want to say thank you guys for hanging out with us here tonight. It's been an incredible time. This weekend, True and I are going to be at the Seahawks game at the CenturyLink Field, Touchdown City. If you have some time before the game, stop by and come see us at the Sparkling Ice booth. We'll be there meeting and greeting folks, having a good time, True. But before we get out of here, I never did get your favorite Jay-Z song. I know it's hard to break it down, narrow it down to just one.
Well, I go with it's Throwback Jay, that Reasonable Doubt.
Reasonable Doubt is classic.
Yeah, so you know that's, that one that we played earlier. It's called Reasonable Doubt, right?
Yeah,
The
the
song?
whole album,
Yeah.
the album and the song. Reasonable Doubt.
Yep, that's it right there. Puts you in a trance, kind of that beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good album, man. I would have to say my favorite, my go-to is going to always be probably Dirt Off Your Shoulders, man. That just really just gets me in a spot, man, where I get hyped and the boy is flowing.
Brush the haters off.
Yeah,
Brush the haters off.
Get
Okay.
that dirt off your shoulders, man.
Mine's the one with the word I can't say.
Say it, Nate.
I'm not going to say it. No.
Nathaniel's in Paris?
Something
The Nate Daniels in Paris, exactly. That's my favorite.
That is a great track. Hey, man, thank you guys for hanging out with us. Like we said, we will catch you down at CenturyLink Field. If you happen to be down there, stop by and see us down in Touchdown City. But until then, we are coming to you live from Snoqualmie Casino and heading out. Man, we can stop by the key on our way home. True.
Yeah, I think I got a little bit of time. Let's do it. Let's go.
All right,
T.
let's get out of here. Hey, catch you guys later. It's the Barbershop.